Long time no see, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to some more videos. This video is going to be mainly representing the fact that my full first playthrough is completely unlocked, and you can now view it in the description down below. There is a link to an unlisted playlist and you can go ahead and watch my complete playthrough. I had to remove a few songs like the intro and the outro because of copyright issues, so I had to remove those. So sorry it took so long, because I had to render everything out and make sure everything was okay for everybody to watch. So now that that's out of the way, I wanted to also include my impressions, or my opinion on Kingdom Hearts 3 now that it's out, it's done with, and we have now nothing else to look forward to in the future out of Kingdom Hearts 3 because it's here. So at first I didn't really want to say anything because I was in a honeymoon phase and I really just wanted to just love the game as much as possible. But now that that honeymoon phase is over and I've kind of played it multiple times as well, I can kind of start to see all the pros and all the cons of Kingdom Hearts 3, because it's not a perfect game, and by any chance, but by all means, it's not the best Kingdom Hearts game in my opinion. So that title still belongs to the first one, I think. So anyways, Kingdom Hearts 3. So let's start with the things that I did like about the game, okay? And this is going to be very raw. I'm not going to be editing anything fancy or anything like that. It's just going to be me talking into the camera. It's going to try and make it this quick and easy, okay? So first of all, I want to say that the game is absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful, it's stunning, the graphics, well done Square Enix. You never fail to impress us with the graphics. The overhaul, if you were to compare even the most recent Kingdom Hearts, Dream Drop Distance, to this game, is just a crazy, even though it was a 3DS game, it's just crazy how beautiful everything looks. The worlds, the characters themselves, all of it looks great. The visual aesthetic of the game looks beautiful. All right, just wanted to put that in there. The combats, which is the one thing that people mostly look at when they're playing Kingdom Hearts, the combat in this game is relatively very smooth and pretty fun to play at first. I can see how people don't like it, especially compared to the Kingdom Hearts 2 and number 1 as well. It seems like they made up a mixture of Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1 combats with the new like command deck combat. So they figured out a way to be able to mishmash that all together to be able to make an accessible and pretty easy to pick up, pretty easy to learn combat system. So a lot of people don't like that, but at the same but me, I am not necessarily that against it. I actually found it very fun to do forms. I found it very fun to use magic, which is one of my pros as well. Even though magic is kind of OP in my opinion, it's really strong, and there's some Keyblades that are definitely a lot better than others. However, the forms are extremely fun, especially the yo-yo and the staff, or the flag I should say, from Pirates of the Caribbean. It was incredibly fun to use all those things. So the combat is actually pretty fun in my opinion. I can see how people can disagree, but I found it very fun. Alongside that, there is a lot of content in this game, a lot of content from collecting to mini games to gummy ship missions, a lot of stuff to do after the game, so you can be able to get the Ultimate Keyblade and a bunch of other things. With that being said, it's not too much of variety in post-game. But however, there is a lot more content, a lot more places to explore, a lot more items to pick up. It's really fun to do in my opinion, just to explore the different worlds here. And speaking of the worlds, that's one of the things I loved about this game. The worlds were incredibly fleshed out and they're incredibly fun. Even though the worlds are sort of filler to be able to get into the actual main storyline of Kingdom Hearts, I found every single world very fun, except for a few of them, but I'll get into that in just a moment. Alongside that as well, the AI in this game for the partner characters has improved dramatically since the Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 has probably the best AI in the Kingdom Hearts series, in my opinion. That doesn't mean that they'll still mess up, because I've still come across a few times where Donald doesn't heal me, but definitely I found Donald healing me more times than none compared to Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1. So I really was surprised with the AI changes they made in Kingdom Hearts 3. It seems like they took the Donald Duck I'm healing meme from Donald Duck very seriously and they kind of made some changes there. So that's great. The other thing I really liked is, well, Here's something that I actually didn't like at first, but I've kind of made my peace after thinking about it a lot. The ending. I'm not going to be spoiling too much right now. I'll be spoiling in a little bit, so be prepared for that. So if you guys want a spoiler-free talk, I'm giving it to you right now, and then I'm going to go into spoiler territories when I get into the cons. So the ending is actually, at first it was very bittersweet. I didn't like it. However, there's so many things that they could have done differently. I wish they could have done things differently, in my opinion, but the way that they went with the ending sets up for sequels, and they sets up for more games and more possibilities and basically more ways for Disney to milk the franchise, because I think they saw how much money Kingdom Hearts can actually make. So definitely we're going to be seeing more Kingdom Hearts. So with that in mind, the ending actually kind of makes sense to me. So I made my peace with the ending. Some people may disagree and some people may agree with me, but however, after thinking about it a lot, I actually quite like the ending. I'm pretty satisfied with it. Now, those are all the pros. So let's get into the cons, okay? The cons of the Kingdom Hearts 3, there's actually quite a few of them. After settling, after letting it simmer a little bit and playing it a few times, I've found a lot of things that were wrong with Kingdom Hearts 3. First of all, let's just talk about regular mechanics and such. The attraction flow is one of the things that I found so annoying in Kingdom Hearts 3. I wish there was a chance to be able to turn off attraction flow, because when you're in the middle of a boss fight or in the middle of a mob fight and you don't want to use attraction flow at all, you just want to use your regular Keyblade, try to use as much magic and forms as possible, and then all of a sudden you hit a Heartless that activates that attraction flow and you have it queued up in your command deck, and that's when things get kind of, why would I want to use it? And then you accidentally use it when you didn't want to use it, and so on and so forth. I hope they have an option to turn it off in the future. That's number one. Number two, camera is incredibly bad, I think. We're back to Kingdom Hearts 1 cameras, but I think even worse, in my opinion. The camera is terrible. I really don't like how they did the camera, just because when you lock onto an opponent, there is a huge, vast amount of room in this game when you fight with Heartless. So whenever there's very fast-moving Heartless, which there's a lot of them, they move around the room a lot, which is huge, and sometimes when they move super far away, like your camera still locks onto them and they're just a million miles away, and it zooms out in a very uncomfortable state, and it just doesn't it's just very annoying sometimes when that happens. I wish they could have the camera just lock onto whenever they go out of the field of view, basically. So instead of expanding the camera super far away to be able to see both Sora and the opponent, they should be able to lock onto the nearest thing once that Heartless leaves the vicinity, if that makes sense. So the camera is kind of iffy. All right, hopefully they can fix it in the future. Another thing is no critical mode. This is a big one. This is something that people have been talking about for a long time, just because critical mode was introduced in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was great. It was actually another way to add challenge to the game for multiple runs and such, and they removed it here, and I really hope that they put it in as DLC. There was talk of it being DLC, but I don't know if it's actually going to be DLC. So I hope they put in crit mode, because as it stands right now, even on proud mode, this game is actually pretty simple and pretty easy. You can get it done really fast. So crit mode would be amazing. All right, so now that we got all the mechanics and stuff out of the way, let me talk about the things that are wrong with the story, are one of the things. So I'm going to be going into spoiler talk. So if you guys don't want to hear any spoilers, if you still haven't played it, which I don't know how you haven't played it yet, you guys can leave the video now. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the first thing about the story that I didn't like, and I didn't like the order that the story was told. It started off pretty great when they're mixing and mashing the different story elements from Disney and from the Kingdom Hearts story to be able to get a nice outcome. However, after the first initial world, which is Colosseum, or Olympus, I should say, after that, then you start to kind of only do Disney worlds and kind of only focus on the Disney worlds. I mean, some elements of the Kingdom Hearts story would show up here and there. However, it feels like the Disney worlds were kind of filler, or kind of like the way, okay, you have to finish all the worlds to be able to progress the main storyline, which I don't like. I wish they were able to kind of add some things in the middle of the story instead of finishing all the worlds and then you get into the Kingdom Hearts stuff, or the things that people are waiting for. just because they want you to do all the worlds of Kingdom of Disney and such. I don't know if Disney was behind that at all, but it seems like they were. So the order that the story was told was not good. I wish they would add more things in the middle, in between each worlds. That would have made it a lot more refreshing and very interesting. All right. The other thing as well is, of course, with that being said, because of the whole order that the story is told, when you get to see the different characters come back, like Aqua, Terra, Ventus, Roxas, Naminé, Axel, all these characters come back at the very end, they don't get enough screen time. These are some of the characters that we love, and we've been waiting for them to come back, but everything is going so fast at the end, it feels like it's rushed. And because of that, they don't get enough screen time. We got very little time with these characters. I wish we would actually see some of the things that they would say, just like while they were away, you know, like talk to Xion to see like what's going on with her, see what she says, flesh out what's his name, Terra and Ventus and Aqua a little bit more now that they're all back together. And it's just so many things could have been done differently than how they did it here. It's just kind of frustrates me how we've been waiting for so long for this game, and then all of a sudden everything just gets rushed to the very end. That's one of the things that I don't like about this game. Another thing as well is the Final Fantasy characters. They're missing. None of them are here. We only get a slight cameo of Cloud and Auron and Zack when we went to Olympus. However, we don't get any mention of Leon, Yuffie, Aerith, or Cid, anybody, which I found really disappointing because I love that story arc, and I love the fact that they were always kind of aware of what you were doing, you know, and it would have been really cool to see them. And of course, no Sephiroth fight. Oh boy, no Sephiroth fight. I wish they would have done a Sephiroth fight in Kingdom Hearts 3. I think that would have been really cool to see updated Sephiroth. Maybe we get a glimpse as to how Final Fantasy VII Remake Sephiroth would look like. So that's that. Alongside that, one of the things that frustrated me as well about Kingdom Hearts 3 is Kairi. Kairi, we were all expecting her to become a character. Up until this point, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, she was the damsel in distress. She was always a character basically the Princess Peach of the series. And as soon as we heard that she was going to become a Keyblade Master, we thought, oh man, she's going to become an actual character. They're going to flesh her out. I've read the manga for Kingdom Hearts. It's one of the only mangas that I've read. And Kairi in Kingdom Hearts, the manga of Kingdom Hearts, is absolutely fantastic. I wish they would have done her more like that. And I thought they were going to do her more like that, but they ended up doing the exact same thing as she's always been. And because of that, that's how the story kind of turns out. And you have to play the game if you know what I'm talking about. Because of Sora going back for Kairi and Sora not coming back, Kairi kind of took his place. So back in Destiny Island, Sora's gone, Kairi's back, yada, yada, yada. It's kind of like getting sick and tired of it. And I hope that Kairi somehow becomes a character. It's not that she's a bad character. It's just that she's not a character. We don't know how she is yet. So I hope that changes in the future. And then the last thing that I really wanted to talk about is, of course, the worlds. The only worlds that I really didn't like is Frozen and Tangled. Tangled wasn't too bad. Frozen, however, was really, I didn't like Tangled at all. I'm sorry, Frozen, just because it was a literally copy paste of the movie. And it's the same with Tangled, but Tangled was a little bit more bearable just because it was so beautiful and the landscapes were great. Frozen was, even the landscapes were like not unbearable. And the partner in Frozen was interesting at first, but then we didn't get to see anything else from the abominable snowman. So the Frozen world, and of course the rendition of Do You Want to Build a Snowman, and you know, Let It Go, being a literal copy paste. It just felt like we were watching the movie with Sora in the background. It was kind of awkward, and I didn't like it too much. So I wish they would have done the Frozen and the Tangled differently. I wish they would have done it like Monsters Inc., which is more of a sequel to the movie. And I really would have liked if every world was a sequel to their movies. So like, what would have happened if Jack Sparrow, or like Pirates of the Caribbean 3.5, like in between 3 and 5, what would happen there? Frozen 2 or something, you know, a Tangled 2. What happens with Rapunzel? Well, I guess with Rapunzel makes sense because she turns like she cuts her hair off at the end, so it wouldn't be Rapunzel really. So I guess that would make sense. But the Frozen one, I wish they would have done a little bit differently. I think that would have been really cool. So anyways, and then with that being said, another thing about the worlds were all spoiled by Disney or Square Enix themselves, which makes no sense to me. There's 5 to 6 worlds. I think there's 6 worlds in total, and they were all spoiled in the trailers, which means that they did not want to keep any secrets. They just wanted to let you know of all the worlds that are going to be in there and then experience the story. They were mostly keeping like the actual story under wraps. They didn't give a crap about the Disney worlds. The Disney worlds is more for marketing, so they can buy more merchandise and stuff, is what I'm thinking. Hey, remember Frozen? Hey, remember Tangled? Hey, remember Pirates of the Caribbean? Remember Mighty Number 9 or the Big Hero 6, whatever the hell it's called. So I didn't like how they spoiled literally every world. I really would have loved if they had another world or two that they kept under wraps. That would be nice. So that's pretty much all the gripes I have with it. Initially, with all this putting into consideration, I loved Kingdom Hearts 3. However, it's not perfect, and I'm glad that I was able to kind of let it simmer, take it all in to be able to make my conclusive decision as to what my opinion is on Kingdom Hearts 3. So there's a lot of things wrong with it, but it's not a perfect game. However, it is a pretty well done package. I think it was very well done. Was it anything near, did it live up to its hype, its 13-year hype that we were all waiting for? I wish they would have done things a little bit differently. I wish it would have been a little bit different. However, I still loved it just because it's Kingdom Hearts, and I love Kingdom Hearts, and I was relatively satisfied. It did not meet, it met expectations, I should say. It didn't rise above and beyond like I thought it was gonna be. So, all right, before I go, I wanted to mention a few things that I could recommend that they could put into Kingdom Hearts 3 in the future, just to make it a more pleasant experience. The first thing, of course, is going to be critical mode. I pray that they put in a critical mode. Right now, having only a proud mode is always kind of iffy, and I really, really hope that they put in a crit mode, similar to KH2. That just adds a bit of more difficulty, or another way to play the actual game. That's essential. Another thing is more super bosses. Right now, as it stands, as I'm making this video, there's only one super boss right now, and it's relatively easy as well, and it's not really anything too fancy or too amazing. In previous Kingdom Hearts, there were some amazing super bosses. Sephiroth is one of them. Mysterious figures everywhere. Whole bunch of different secret bosses. I think they should put in a few more secret bosses. DLC are free of charge, hopefully, just as a way of saying sorry for making you wait for so long. I might be asking for too much, but I think super bosses would be great. New Keyblades, hopefully some nostalgic Keyblades from Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, maybe even Dream Drop, of course. And I was thinking about this, maybe they could add a Riku DLC, just because there's so much Sora in the story, and you could play as Riku once, and that would be great to have a Riku DLC as to okay, while Sora was gone, what was Riku doing? How did he get his new Keyblade? So on and so forth, okay? Also, please put in an option to turn off attraction flow. It's so annoying. That is possibly number one right next to critical mode. Put in an option to turn off attraction flow. If you want to use it, fine. It might be actually pretty useful for specific mob fights. However, just in regular all the time, attraction flow is not very fun to deal with, especially when you don't want to use it. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Full playthrough is in the description down below. That's my initial impressions. I recommend this game to anybody, really. If you guys want to get into the Kingdom Hearts series, that would be great. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.